Hello, it's Angela with Chalky and Company. Today I wanted to show you a little bit about our glaze. Now, we have some amazing products. Glaze is one of my favorite. It's a water-based, almost like a stain, but you can do it over bare wood to give that stained look so you can still see the wood grain, or you could do it over paint to kind of give it more depth. So just really quickly, I wanted to just jump on. I'm going to start glazing a project, so I thought, why not show you a little bit about it. So here is our glaze. This one is Heritage Brown. You can get this with your kits. You can pick two choices. One of them can be a paint, careful, and one of them can be a glaze. So a lot of people don't even know about this until they go to their very first workshop. So I wanted to kind of just show you a little bit about this. It's always fun to try to paint when you're a mom, so this is just my life. All right, so a couple of tricks you can do. You can brush it on, just like paint. You can use like a cotton cloth to really rub it in. You can get your project a little bit wet beforehand to make it a lighter color, or you can just brush it right on to make it dark. I like the dark color, so I'm just gonna do it straight up glaze, and you can also do it over paint. So I'm gonna show you both tricks. Let's see here. There's my table. All right, so I've got my glaze in a bowl, and I don't have any water because I don't need water for this, but I always like to have wipes on hand. I can just wipe that glaze right off if it's a little bit too dark, or if I want just a little bit here and there, I could just wipe it right off with a wet wipe or baby wipe. I prefer Pampers to Huggies. Huggies seems to leave little pieces behind. So first, let me show you my most favorite kit right now. I have a lot of favorites, but this one is our turntable. You can see how big it is. Here's the back side, and it turns. So you can use it for so many things. You could put it in the middle of your kitchen table and put your salt, pepper, napkins, those kinds of things. I'm going to use this either for that or for my coffee bar, where I put my creamer, my sugar. I have some syrups, and I always have so many things next to my coffee pot that this would keep it all contained. So I'm going back and forth. I might have to order two, but there's so many other uses for it. Let me know what you would use this for, and see how thick it is. It's so sturdy, and it just makes such a statement, especially with a stencil. Okay, so I'm just gonna glaze it with the Heritage Brown. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you. It's really easy. Do not be afraid of glaze. Like, you can just brush it right on. So if you had a cotton t-shirt, you can just be rubbing it right into the wood, just like a stain. And since I didn't get it wet beforehand, it's really absorbing. That water would help it absorb less. So if you wanted it to be lighter, I would just get my brush wet and just put the wet on my board, and then it would just spread and not absorb as much. But I really like that deep color. It just is so beautiful to me, but everyone likes. You can always, add more glaze later too. So that's it. You're just brushing it on. See how easy that is? It's just, and you can't mess it up. I mean, really, you can always add more. You can always take some off, if you like that lighter color. If it's just too dark for you, you can just take that wet wipe or that cloth and just brush it right over like you would any stain. And a little bit goes a long way. That this was about half full, so I know that I have more than enough to finish this project. My stencil is still on its way. I ordered it separately, so I'm not going to stencil it today, but I'm just going to start the process because I've been waiting to do this project for way too long. And I'm just excited about it. So we also have White Caps Glaze, so white, and then we have Onyx Black Glaze too. And those are very beautiful, especially the white over like a blue, like you paint it blue and then you put that over the top. Alright, so I'm just gonna, see how fast that was? You don't have to worry about brush strokes, you don't have to worry about pretty much anything. It's just really so easy. I'm going to take whatever's left of my brush and kind of do the edges real quick before I show you the tile so that my brush isn't wet. There we go, see? And that's it. And now we're just going to let it dry. It's beautiful. And if you want it darker, you can always do another coat. Let's see if you can even see that. My lighting is not the greatest. Okay. There it is wet. We're going to let it dry. I'm just going over to get any excess off. Alright, so we're going to set that aside to dry, and then I'm going to do the edges. But here is a tile with paint on it. I did a little dry brushing technique on this one, but it's just an extra tile I have laying around. But it'll give you a good idea of what our glaze looks like over paint. So go ahead and do that real quick. Oh, that lighting makes it look almost blue, at least from my angle. Okay, so let's just say I want to do the edges here. So we'll just do like this. Kind of gives it a little bit of aged depth. And really, a lot of people are scared to do this because they don't want to mess their project up. They're just afraid to try something new. I mean, especially when you pay money for a kit that you really have plans for in your home. And I understand that. So I always recommend trying a new technique, maybe on the back of your project if you're not going to use the back. Just to show you how easy it is. And just remember that you can always paint over that, you know, if you don't like the way that looks. Okay, so that's one of the greatest part about chalky paint. Okay, so we're just gonna lightly, always lightly, because especially if you have just painted your kit, your paint might not be dry, and you will pull that off with the cloth. So I always say just go really light. Okay. Yeah.
You like paint.
Yeah, I like paint. Do you like paint?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's going to be a little hard to see because I wiped a great portion of it off. But if you just want that light aged look, you can just wipe it off. And if you want more, you can always add more. So in this light, it's you can see kind of around the edges where it's a little bit darker than the rest. If you wanted a more heavy look, I always just, oh, careful dude. I always just brush off the excess on the side so I'm not ending up with more than I want.
Ow.
And glazing is a lot like dry brushing. You know, you just add a little bit and then take it off if you don't like it, and then do it again if you decide it was a not so bad. But maybe these two colors aren't
Why did you paint it?
the best, but you can see I put the glaze on. And I can take it off or I can leave it on like that. It gives it a nice dry brushed effect. I'm going to take a dry cloth and just kind of rub it in. And now it just gives it a different tone. It gives it a completely different look. So a lot of times I'll take the white over the blue. That makes it look kind of beachy. I'll take the brown over the white, and it just makes it look more vintage. So there's a lot of things to play with. The black over the white, it looks beautiful, or the black over the blue even. There's so many things to play with, so don't be afraid of the glaze. The glaze is super easy, and go ahead and play with some. If you're a new consultant and you got that in your starter kit, go ahead and play with that a little bit. I use the back of my projects to test new things or to mix colors and to glaze. That's really how I practice. I just use the back of some of my kits to practice my techniques. So just play with it. If you remember, you can't mess it up. You can paint over it. Chalky paint will cover anything. So don't be afraid to try it. Make sure you add it on to your next party so that you can check it out. Alrighty? Okay. Talk to you guys soon, and I'll show you the finished family circle when I'm all done.